Alright, what's going on everybody? So today I'm dropping my very first official YouTube video. I'm super excited about this because it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time and finally got a chance to do a little bit of research and get it started. So it's going to be a little bit rocky at first, so just bear with me, right? If you guys have been following me for a while on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you guys do. I'll put the information at the bottom, but if you guys have been following me on Instagram, you realize that I do a lot of different things. I wear a lot of different uniforms. Also in the Air Force Reserve, I was in the Marine Corps for some time, also in the reserves, and I work as a law enforcement officer. I'm in a street crimes unit, so I wear uniforms. I wear regular dress-down clothes, and I'm also part of our part-time SWAT team. So I do a lot of different things. I got a lot of knowledge, and I want to share that knowledge with you guys. I want to make sure that you guys get the gear that's right for you. Basically, what I want you guys to do is don't make the mistakes that I did and buy a bunch of different things. I want you guys to save your money and just learn from my mistakes. Today's video, it's going to be on my duty belt, and the reason why I'm starting with my duty belt is because I realize that a lot of you guys are new, or a lot of you guys work patrol. So I'm going to go over every single piece of gear on my duty belt, and I'm also going to go over the reasons why the tourniquet is right there versus the mags being right there. And then hopefully I can answer all of you guys' questions, and if I did not, then just go ahead and comment at the bottom or send me a DM on Instagram. So let's go ahead and get started. So the very first thing is the belt. There's a lot of departments out there that allow you to wear whatever belt you want as long as it is black. Not mine. Mine, this is what I'm issued, which is a basket weave, and this is what I have to use. So not a fan of basket weave, not a fan of this plastic buckle, but this is what I'm issued, and this is what I have to use. I'm sure a lot of you guys are the same way. They issue you something, and that's what you have to wear. So that's the belt right there. So this piece right here is where I have the activation box for my camera. The camera itself sits around my neck, and then there's a cable that goes down my shirt and into the power box right here. In order to activate the camera, all I have to do is click it twice, and it'll activate the camera, capture. It'll go back a whole minute, capture that, and then once it hits a minute, then that's when you can hear the audio. Whenever I'm done with the traffic stop or whatever I'm doing, then I press and hold, and it turns the camera off. The way that I have it set up is I actually use a little loop, the empty space right there, and just wedged it in there. So it sits nice and tight. It's not gonna come out unless I put a lot of pressure into it, like you saw right there. But really good spot for me. I don't have to worry about this piece and keeping track of it because it always sits on my belt. Next is my mag pouch. So this pouch right here is made by Bladetech, and I bought it about 5 years ago for $20, so not very expensive. This is so much better with the open top like this than having one of those pouches that you have to open the flap and get your mag out. Now I realize that some agencies out there, that's what you have to use, and if that's what you have to use, then use that. But if you can run something like this, and I highly recommend this. One thing to make sure you guys are, if you can run this and you guys get it, is to that right there is the retention screw. So make sure the retention's good enough so that your magazines are not falling out by running. I've been in foot pursuits, jump fences, fought a couple of people, never had an issue with a mag falling out, and never had an issue pulling a mag to draw or anything like that. So adjust the retention so that it works for you. Now let's talk about this Velcro right here. Let me see if I can get a good shot. So this is commercial Velcro from Lowe's or Home Depot or anything like that. And the reason why I added this Velcro is because anytime I deploy my shotgun, and you know this, you only have the shells in the tube. Maybe if you throw some in your pocket on the way out, or if you have a side saddle, that's about it. So I wanted to have more rounds on me just in case, because you never know. So what I ended up doing, I added that Velcro there, and I got one of these panels from Aries. And check this out. You slap it on, and now you have an extra 5 shotgun shells that you can take with you. So this right here, good. So I mean, even if I'm running, they're not gonna fall out. And whenever I'm done with it, or I store my shotgun, put it away, then I can just throw this thing in my door pocket. That way I'm not walking around like this all the time. So This sits in my door pocket again. Super awesome. I think it cost me about $10 for this piece here. So next is the blade that sits behind my magazines. So this blade right here is made by Spartan, and this is the Enyo model. The reason why I went with this blade over the other blades out there is because I like, one, I like the look, and two, I like how low profile it is. So as you can see, when my mags are up like that, so if I was wearing the belt, you can barely see it. It sits about same level as my magazines, and then from the top, that's all you see right there. So if you're a bad guy and you're trying to get my blade, first you gotta see it. Most people don't even realize it's there. And if you're a bad guy and you gotta go for the blade, or you wanna go for the blade, you gotta fight through all of this to get the blade, and not an easy task. The other thing I wanna point out is that the blade actually sits opposite of where my gun's at, so do that. You don't wanna have the blade right in the same spot your gun is, in case somebody's going for your gun. You want to maintain retention on that gun, push it down into the holster, grab whatever you can on the other side, go to work. But I realize that there's a lot of agencies out there that don't let you have a straight blade on your belt. If you're one of those agencies, I feel bad for you. If you're not, then this is a good option for you. So this is the Spartan Enyo blade. Next is this piece right here. This piece right here is made by Perfect Fit, and it's just for keys or whatever you can put on here. I see a lot of cops using their belt keepers to hold their keys. The only problem with that is that if you go into if you get into a foot chase, or if you fight somebody and that belt keeper comes undone, you just lost your keys, man. So this is not very expensive. I think it cost me about $7 6 or 7 years ago. Invest in something like this, and it doesn't take a lot of room either. So not a bad thing for the price, and super easy to put your keys back on. So next is my Taser. This Taser is issued to me. I did not have to buy this. There are some agencies out there where you have to have the Taser cross-drawn. Not my agency. We have to have it this way. And if you take a look where my gun's at and my Taser, is basically the same spot, just opposite sides. I like this holster a lot, and the reason why I like this holster is because it's pretty fast. To draw the Taser, just press that, the Taser comes out, and then here's the Taser. So if I need to turn my Taser on, all I have to do is flick it on right there. I have the laser and the light. You can actually adjust it so it's just the light or the laser or both. And I like this holster because if you guys take a look at this lip right here, if you forget to turn your Taser off and it's still on, when you reholster your Taser, it's actually going to put your Taser back on safe. So my Taser goes in, and it flips it turns the Taser off. So there you go. That's the Taser. Next is my radio, but before I start talking about my radio, there's one thing that I want to show you guys, and it's this right here, a belt keeper. So I added this belt keeper after I was having issues with my Taser, messing with the volume of my radio because it was just too close. With the belt keeper there, I don't have that issue anymore. So going on with the radio. So this is the radio that I'm issued, and is a Motorola APX 7000. I like this clip that I have it on, which came with it, because I could just do that right there. I can take it off, I can throw it in my pocket just like this, and it's just this clip here. Never had an issue with this thing after 6 years with foot pursuits, you know, fighting people and all that stuff. Never had an issue with losing my radio or anything like that. I am looking at another more solid option. But once I get that, I'll make a video on that and I'll tell you guys all about it. Next on my belt is my duty light, and that's the Surefire R1 Lawman. I've had this thing now for about 6 or 7 years, and I love it. I bought this thing when it first came out. It was like $400, and not long ago they had a sale on them for about $150. So that kind of hurt my heart a little bit, but really good light. I like the way it feels. I like the length. Solid compared to some of the other lights out there. And then I like the tail switch. This one is 750 lumens, I believe. And then so you have the tail switch right there, and then you have the switch right here if you want it. Turn it on, and then if you click it twice real fast, then you get the strobe. So if you know anything about strobes, you know how disorienting it can be. So love this light, super awesome. Check them out. All right, so next thing I'm gonna talk about is the middle of my back. So right here is my back. What you're gonna notice is that on my SWAT belt, I carry a med kit in the dead center of my back, but on this one I don't, and there's a reason for that. Whenever I'm wearing this belt, most of the time what I'm doing is I'm sitting in a car, you know, going from place to place. SWAT, on the other hand, you're standing for the most part, or if you're sitting, you're in a Bearcat, you have a lot of room, you're not really in a seat that's super uncomfortable. I tried running a med kit right here, but it was just way too painful, and then that's just over time it can create a lot of issues. So now what I do is I put all my medical stuff in my cargo pocket, and that's how I run my medical stuff. Next is the secondary pair of cuffs that I carry. I have those behind my gun, and then the way that that it looks right here, it actually kind of deceiving because it looks like it would interfere with my grip, but it doesn't. Let me show you. So when I pick it up, you guys can see, man, there's a lot of space on here. And just to add for extra security measures to make sure this thing doesn't slide up there and interfere with my grip, I actually put a belt keepers right there. The handcuffs that I carry are hinge cuffs, and I prefer hinge cuffs over chain cuffs, and I'll do a video on that at a later time, but that's what I carry as my secondary pair of cuffs. And next is this beauty right here, this beauty of a holster. Not really. This holster right here, there's a lot of agencies, federal government, and a lot of people that just stopped running this holster altogether because it's just unsafe. It breaks easy. And there's a lot of people actually shooting themselves because of the safety release right here. So they're coming out under stress, and they have their finger like this, and they actually pull the trigger, and the shot will go into their leg. So everybody is moving to this right here, so this fireline holster. So whenever I'm wearing this belt right here in regular uniform, I have to wear this holster. Whenever I'm doing SWAT stuff, then I can rock that holster. I love that holster, a lot safer and better. Also, because I get to run a legit light instead of this, I don't even know what they call it. I don't even want to say it. The night ops, I think it is, or Cypho's light, right there. So this light, not very bright at all, and it just it actually turns off when you shoot at night. Not what a light is supposed to do, right? So I do not recommend this at all. Next up is my tourniquet and my tourniquet pouch. So I rather have the cat tourniquet, which is the North American Rescue cat tourniquet. This is the Gen 7 over the Soft T Wide. And the reason for that is because I find it that it's a lot easier for me to put this on by myself in an arm or something like that if I were to get shot than the other one. It doesn't mean that I don't like the soft T's, because I actually have soft T's as well. I just prefer to use this one on myself. And tourniquet pouches. So there's a lot of tourniquet pouches out there. The biggest thing is that you have to decide is, do you want an open top or do you want a closed top? What does that mean? So this one right here is an open top, so my tourniquet is actually exposed. There's pros and cons to both. An open top is you can grab your tourniquet a lot faster, but because it is open top, anytime there's rain or any of that stuff, or you're rolling around and shooting from your stomach and all that stuff, the tourniquet is going to be exposed to the elements and all that stuff. So the tourniquet, you have to change out the tourniquet more often than if you will with a closed top. Closed top, slower deployment because you have to take the top off and then get to your tourniquet, but it'll last you longer. Last but not least, my primary set of handcuffs and pouch, and that's that one right there. So I have it in the front, that way it's nice and easy. If I need to grab it, it's right there in front of me. I'm not having to reach behind my back. I don't carry a double case or double cuff case in the front because it's just a lot of weight already for me, and I don't want my belt to be sagging. And it's just really uncomfortable to have that. So I have one in the front, one in the back. I want you guys to take note of this. So you guys can see that my primary doesn't have a flab and my secondary does. There's a really good reason why my primary does not. And that's because it takes a quick search on YouTube, and you're gonna find some bad guy resisting a cop or running from a cop as soon as he heard this. Right? They know that what comes after that noise is handcuffs, and they don't want to go to jail, right? So they're gonna run and they're gonna resist, or they're gonna fight you. So that's why I switch from that to this. If you can, and you work for an agency that you can do that, I highly suggest it. So that's that on the pouches. All right, my primary set of cuffs are the Tuff cuff. I got these about 5 or 6 years ago. They were about $100. The company has since gone out of business. Not sure why, because these things are legit, but they did. You can find these on eBay or on other sites out there, but not very many people are selling these because you know, they just work really good. I'm not going to go into the details of these cuffs today, but if you can buy these and if you find them, I highly suggest you get them because you're not gonna regret it. So that's it for handcuffs. And that's that, guys. So that's my very first YouTube video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully I was able to give you some ideas or help you put your gun belt together, kind of like this right here. I know a lot of you guys are going to appreciate that. So if there's anything on here that helped you, put it down below in the comments. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, make sure you guys put it down there as well. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be dropping more videos like this, a little bit more thorough videos than you can on Instagram, since on Instagram it's only a minute long, and here I can spend a little bit more time. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram as well. I do I post a lot of codes on there. I do a lot of giveaways on there. It gives you guys a chance to save some money and win some free stuff. So thank you again, everybody, for all the support. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video again, and until next time.